Hi everyone, it's Ginger from Stamping the Cape. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here with my final August 2019 Stamp Club project. This month's cards and gift box were all about the cake and the birthday and the whole 9 yards. And this is actually, it's simple, but it's kind of my favorite because I'm a huge chocolate cake lover. So we're going to get right into making this card. It says, hope this year is a piece of cake, and then just a simple happy birthday, and we've put a little cake slice in there. So I'm going to start by embossing a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 crumb cake cardstock. And I'm using the Subtle 3D Textured Embossing folder. I've got the original version, so I'm using the original Sandwich. The new embossing folder, 3D folders, you need a new plate. That's like $10 to do this, but you can find them in the catalog and whatnot. So I'm just going to, let's see, oh, I did it horizontally. I wanted it going this way. So I lined up my edge of my embossing folder with my score line, and the best that I could, because I wanted my, this is going to be a horizontal card, and I wanted my texture to be going in that direction. Normally I wouldn't recommend doing folders like this because you can, you can crack the crease, your folding line of your embossing folder. But I'm going for it anyway because I want it horizontally, and because it's a 6 by 6, this is the only option I have to get it into through the machine. So hopefully I haven't got it, made it crooked again. Oop, getting my head in the shot. I just keep forgetting that camera is there. It's like I'm talking to myself, I guess. I don't know. So I'm just going to run this through. And this is the only thing we need for the big shot. It just adds a little bit of texture to the card background, which is all I wanted. And it looks like I missed some. So you know what? I'm gonna, it did. I'm gonna do this again. And you can, let's see what happens. Usually you can do your embossing over, and it will just replace. What's there. So I'm going to push it in just a little more and hope that I don't scritch it this time. I don't move it. Put my plate back on. I'm going to hold this really tightly so that I don't, hopefully don't move it, or that it doesn't slide. Okay, let's see how this one came out. Yeah, perfect. So see, it just re-embossed the areas that were there and flattened the ones that hadn't been embossed the first time and fixed the ones that weren't there. So, all right, so I've got my card front. And I'm just going to fold that to reposition my score. Oops, get your head out of the camera. Reposition my score line. Okay. And actually, I mean, I have stamped like the candles right on the card, so you know, it just adds a little bit of texture. It's not, you know, super deep embossing. So I want to put my ribbon around like so, and it's going to hide the two ends together behind my cake. So I want to, let's see, figure it's going to be about in the middle, but I want to make sure my seams are enough to the side. So what I usually do to hold my ribbon is I just take, and this is from the Magnolia Lane bundle. There's a combo ribbon pack. It comes with the ribbon and some, I want to say, is it Mossy Meadow or old, I think it's Mossy Meadow twine that comes with this. So you get the ribbon and the twine, but we're just using the ribbon. And I just put snail on my very ends. And then we'll stick that in. Like I said, I want to get it so that these pieces will hide behind the cake. straight. And since there's no adhesive on the back, we can check out the back afterwards. But I'm just going to line these two up. Okay, push that up. Move that up there. Make sure we're straight there. Okay, so that's about in the right position, hopefully. If I have to just cover my cake there. We can probably still move it if we needed to, but I'm not going to worry about it at this moment. So I'm going to be stamping 2 of these cake images. I'm using soft suede, and I'm going to stamp 2 because I'm making it, instead of a double layer, I'm making it a triple layer cake. Because what's better than 2 layers of chocolate but 3 layers of chocolate? So I'm stamping it this way because of the way the punch punches out. So I'm doing them side by side. And I'm going to take my soft suede, this is the dark soft suede blend, and I'm just going to fill in the center, or the blank line. I just wanted them to really be super chocolatey. And I'm not going, super dark or anything by coloring back and forth. And then I'm going to do the bottom. Well, I'm going to do these 2 because part of this cake will be the bottom, and part of it is going to be our little slice on the inside of the cake. So I'll show you how we do that. Okay, my punch. So we're going to punch 1 cake. And I'll probably do some trimming because I want this to appear seamless, like it is 1 cake on top of another. Okay. So I'm going to take my scissors, because this one is going to layer over this one, and I don't want to have this little double layer, so I'm going to actually cut it right underneath that line. You see, I'm trying to keep the solid line there, but we will attach this right up to that. And I'm going to cut off this extra piece of crumb cake that you can see. So it looks like the 2 right on the edge of that stamp line. So it looks like the 2 pieces actually belong together. And I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue, just a little bit right along here. It will cooperate. There we go. And we're going to be putting Stampin' Dimensionals behind this, so it'll also hold it that way. So I'm putting that piece right up, my glue is there, to the edge. And we may have to, if you want to trim the side edges a little bit just to make sure, but that's not too bad. I'm just going to leave it like that, will be fine. And if you want to go back in with your soft suede marker, you can just go in here, it'll get rid of that, any light line on there. All right, and I'm going to punch out my, I'm going to punch out my cake stand, which is the other portion of the punch. And that's just done in early espresso. And like we did with my card in Project 2, I'm just going to put a little multi-purpose glue on the edge of the cake stand and then attach it to the base of the cake. And again, we'll be putting some dimensionals on this for additional security. If you hate when I get glue on my paper. And just a reminder, if you use my, sorry about my head. If you use this month's host code by August 31st, and you place a $35 order, a minimum $35 order before tax and shipping, I will send you all the supplies for my 3 monthly projects, scored and and punched if there's punching that needs to be done, that I can do for you, or die cutting that I can do for you. So just keep that in mind. So our cake is going to go here, and I should have put it over a little more, but that's okay. I'm going to go with that just for time's sake. And I'm just going to put a little light line right there, because my candles are going to be stamped right up here, and I can just go below that line I drew. So I'm going to stamp them in the soft suede, and I'm going to stand up, see if I can see that line. Hopefully I can. I've just bumped the camera. I keep doing this. I'm trying to be better about not getting my head in the camera, and then I keep bumping my head onto the camera when I stand up. Now, one thing I'm doing, which normally you wouldn't do, Stampin' Blends alcohol ink tends to bleed, and I did get a touch of bleeding. I just touched the ink. So if you don't like that, you can always use, if you have one of the Stampin' Right markers, the Poppy Parade is what I'm using. But I'm just touching that just to give it color. I tried not to do too much so it wouldn't bleed through, but I may have been a little heavy-handed on the other one. So I'm going to put Stampin' Dimensionals behind here, and we'll put a big one there, a big one there, and then I'm going to attach a little one at the bottom, or you can use a piece of another one, but I'm going to just stick this one right there. And we'll put our cake on. Okay. And it's going to be just on the edge of that ribbon. Oh well. Who will notice? Okay. So now I've got a 1/2 inch piece by 3.5 inch piece of crumb cake, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which is my hope this year is a piece of cake, and I'm stamping that again in soft suede. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. And I'm going to use the, I'm trying to remember the name of the punch. Golly, I'm so bad with this. This punch, I'll put it on my sheet. I forget what it's called. It's like a, a generic punch, but it's just a label, standard label punch or something to that effect. So we're going to punch that out. I can hold it in place. And then we're going to have another piece of 1/2 inch by 3.5 inch early espresso cardstock. I'm just going to try to stick that in the middle, and we're going to just trim it. So I will put that, hopefully get it as straight as I can on there. And I think it's a little bit taller at the top, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to snip, snip, and again, same. There. And this will go on with a couple of dimensionals. There. And there. And this actually is a pretty quick card. And that's going to go down here. Then on the inside, I'm going to be stamping my happy birthday. And I will be putting my little, taking the rest of that cake that we had stamped. Let's see, I'm going to put my, hopefully that's straight, pretty good. Now the rest of the cake that I had, how I did on this one, let me close this to make sure I don't do anything bad. I've cut one of the little cake pieces at a triangle. So what I did was I just took this remaining piece and I cut it. I'm going to trim this little dog ear off here. And I just cut it from here to here, making it a slice. And then what you can do is you can take your early espresso marker and just run it around the edge. I think I made a bigger piece this last time, but just run it around the edge and it gets rid of that lightness. If you just go around the edge like that. I'm going to fill it in a little bit. And I'm just going to stick that there with a glue dot. Like that. So there you go. Simple for the chocolate cake lover like me. It's perfect and quick and easy to do. So that's my last project for this month. As I said, if you spend $35, place a $35, whoops, that says July. This is my August host code. By August 31st, I will send you all the supplies for my 3 projects that are on my blog and video and on YouTube and whatnot. You'll see them. I'll have a PDF with the measurements and supplies I used. And I'll have more details about, Paper Pumpkin, my fall Stamp-A-Stack for Christmas, etc., etc. So anyway, I hope you like that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.